Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is 6:49 p.m. and I'm currently sitting in the parking lot of this strip mall. There's a Kroger over there. I'm not anywhere near my home. I was driving around talking on the phone to Tanya Jane Applestein. And yeah, I've had a good day today. I got up and we went to brunch. And then after brunch, we went to the mall. We walked the entire mall today. Alex had a bowl of turkey chili at brunch, and then he had his Cuban breakfast. I had today, what did I have? I had the California Dreamer, which is avocado and like hot peppers and stuff. It's like this omelet. It is so good. It is so hot. And cinnamon toast and crispy potatoes. And I went to bed like, well, when did I finish the vlog last night? I don't remember, but I listened to my book for a little bit and I was so tired that I went home. So I got like 8 hours of sleep last night. So I was very, very rested. I may go home and take a little bit of a nap in a second. I filmed a review video and I'm putting my vlog up. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the rest of the day and just listen to my audiobooks and just kind of relax and that kind of stuff. And spend time with Alex. We went to the mall. We went into Saks, and then we walked all the way upstairs, all the way across the mall to the mall is split on either side, and then we walked all the way to Nordstrom. So it's like Saks on one side, Nordstrom at the other end. We walked in and we went to Saks, we went to Sephora, and I ran into Evan. Evan, I found out, he said his grandma and like his mom or aunt watch my vlog. So if you are Evan's grandma or aunt, I had such a nice time meeting Evan today. So he went to Ball State, and then he moved to, well, where his family is from near Indianapolis. And so he works at the Sephora at the fashion mall. He has watched my videos, I mean, for probably the duration that I've been doing drama channel videos. And he always messages to me on Instagram, and he's so nice, and he's like, if you're ever at the mall, come say hi, I watch all your videos, and he's just super friendly. So I've gone in there like 3 or 4 times, and he's never in there when I go in there. And so I went in there today, and he was super helpful. I was like buying some stuff, and he like showed me around, and we chatted, and then Alex was at the Gap next door, and then Alex came over because Alex bought, he had a gift card for the Gap, so it was funny. I was like, when was the last time that you bought something at the Gap? And Alex was like, Carlos and Liliana had given him a gift card for his birthday. So he got a pair of linen pants, and then he got a linen shirt to match to like go out to dinner in Las Vegas. And so then he came over, and we stood there and talked to Evan for a couple minutes. That was fun. And then we went to the other side of the mall, and we went to, well, actually we walked into West Elm, which is a furniture store. I think it's a franchise, so it's probably where you guys are. We actually found nightstands that we both really, really like. They're like wood barn, you know that like wood barn, like that barn wood. They're like that on the top and on the drawer, but underneath it, it's like chrome. And they're $2.99. So I'm thinking like to wait, because the guy said that they might go on sale, and I was like, but $2.99 for a nightstand, I still don't think it's that bad. That's kind of the similar rate of what we're looking at on Amazon and other places. So Alex and I both liked them, and I was like, these are perfect. And then we have new lamps, actually. So I have the lamps. My aunt in her house, she had all of this blue and white, like, you know, that like China, do you know what I'm talking about? She has a lot of that, and we have these huge lamps. They're like this big, and they're like round. They're very cool. And so when Caroline was getting rid of all of her stuff, Caroline didn't want any of it because she isn't having that at her house. So I like have vases, and I have lamps, and I have all kinds of stuff. So we're thinking about maybe using that in the bedroom. And then we wanted to put like wood behind our bed, and I was like, you know, what if we put a big wood placard behind our bed and then put the picture that we have on top of it? So we might do that. But anyway, so we found those nightstands. We think we're gonna get those. And then we went to Lush, and I got some stuff at Lush. We got a bunch of samples, and I ran into this girl that used to help me a lot. She works at Lush, and I had my phone on the brightness, never, because I was doing a review video at Starbucks. And so I did a review video at Starbucks today of the Pokemon Go Frappuccino on the secret menu. And I'm gonna go home and upload that in a second. Anyway, so then we went to Lush. And then where else did we go? Oh, we went to Nordstrom. And I got some cologne at Nordstrom. And then we walked back, and I've been wanting to buy a bottle of Creed, and I've kind of been waiting to right before we go to Las Vegas, because I want to take it on our trip with us. And Alex was like, why don't you just buy it now? So I was like, okay. So I bought it now, and I'm going to use it sparingly and really try to make it last this fall and winter. But I actually found another cologne that I really like too, a high-end cologne. It's called Jo Malone, which is a brand. I think it's a British brand, and I think it's sold exclusively maybe at Saks. That was at Saks. There is this one that is like oud and bergamot that is like so incredible. Well, right now all I can smell is the Creed, but I put it on and I was like, I might have to get this in the fall. But like 1.7 ounces or 2.5 ounces was like $170, which I think is kind of expensive, but it's really, really, really a nice smell. And I have enough colognes right now too. So yeah, I did a little senseless shopping today, and so did Alex. He bought a bunch of stuff at Nordstrom, and he bought a Champion short sleeve hoodie. It's not a hoodie, it's just a sweatshirt. It's real cute. It says Champion all over it. And what else did he buy? I think he bought a pair of Topman shorts. I love that brand, but they just don't have a lot of stuff that fits me. But we had a really good time. We had fun. We were at the mall for a long time. And then I said I was going to go to Starbucks, and I said, do you want to go? And he was like, no, I just want to go home, and I want to watch TV for a little bit. Because he's watching that Umbrella Society or Academy, whatever that show's called. It's funny because he's like, I don't really like it, but he was like, it's kind of fun to watch. He was like, so he's kind of in it, like he started watching it, and now he's like hooked on it, you know? So I took him home, and then he was gonna feed the dogs and watch the show. And then I left, I went and got my Starbucks. Hi, my venti iced coffee. And then I did the review of the Pokemon Go Frappuccino. I'm gonna start driving a little bit. And then I was gonna just drive around and listen to my audiobook for a little bit. I was gonna sit on the front porch and read, and it's so hot that I was like, I am really not in the mood to just sit on the front porch and read in this heat. So I was like, I think I'm gonna drive around and listen to my audiobook for a little bit. And then I was gonna see if Tanya wanted to do something, but Tanya is cooking dinner for her and Eric right now. She worked all day and she just got home. So she's like, yeah, she was like, I'm gonna like just cook the dinner and blah, 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 whatever. I was like, okay. She's like, but call me later. She's like, we can get a fountain or something. I said, all right. So we talked for about 40 minutes on the phone, and I actually looked it up because I was like, how long did we talk? It seemed like we talked forever. We talked for like exactly 40 minutes. And we were talking about books, and I said, Tanya, I said, okay, so if you get on Audible, there is this thing called the Daily Deal. And the Daily Deal is, they have a book every day that's between, like, let's say, $2.95 and $3.95, right? And I said, Tanya, I said, you're never gonna guess. Okay, well, she had told me about this book about a month and a half ago, I think it was. And like the night after okay, so then they have like the bestseller list, and they have like a list of all of like the best books that people are buying and whatever. And I said, this book showed up on the bestseller list. Now, a lot of books like that are on the Daily Deal because they're so cheap and so many people buy them, end up on the bestseller list like the next day, and they stay on there for like a day or two. So I was like, I said, Tanya, I said, this book that you told me about, and you told me it was stupid and I shouldn't read it, is on the bestseller list. And I said, when it first got on there, I thought that it was because it was like a Daily Deal book, you know, that it was kind of like stupid and nobody really cared about it and blah, 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 whatever. And I said, but it's been on there now for so long, I said that it's obviously like a bestseller, like people really, really like it, you know? And she was like, well, what is the book? And I go, it's literally been on the bestseller list for like a month, Tanya. And she's like, what's the book? And I go, it's called The Silent Patient. And she goes, I've never read it. And I go, Yes, you have. You told me the entire book. You even told me the ending, because when you were telling me the ending, I said, please don't tell me, because I'm going to want to read it. And she goes, oh, no, you would never want to read this book. I got it for free on Kindle. And I said, I don't think you got it for free on Kindle. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I never read that book. I've never heard of it. I go, yes, you did. It's about this. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I said, it's about this and it's about that. And you told me at the end, this is what happens, and this is how they find out who did this and who did that. And she goes, no, she goes, you're wrong. I never read that book. And so she starts going through her Kindle, and she goes, this is why I was just pulled into the parking lot over there. She goes, I'm gonna pull up on my Kindle and see what I've read recently. So she goes on her Kindle and she's like reading all this stuff, and she's like reading me the names of the books that she read. And she's like, yeah, see, I didn't read any book called The Silent Patient. And I go, I'm pulling it up right now. I said, so I pulled in there to like pull it up on Google and read it to her. And she goes, I'm pulling it up right now too. And I can tell you I didn't read it. And so she starts reading the thing and she reads it out loud. She goes, oh, I did read this book. She goes, that book wasn't stupid. It was pretty good. And I go, Tanya, you told me not to read this book because it was so stupid. You told me the whole book. I know how it ends and everything. She goes, did I? And I go, yeah. She goes, oh, I did read this book. She goes, this book was pretty good. You would like it. And I go, yeah, except I know everything that happened in it now. I don't need to know it. I don't need to see it now. She's so funny. Somebody messaged me and told me that there's like an email that you can get, like a daily email that tells you all of like the Kindle books that are on sale for the day. And so like I kept it, and I'm gonna give it to Tanya because I was like, because somebody commented on my video and they said you should give this to Tanya, that way that she can, you know, read it every day. And it's like a newsletter. I guess you get like an email newsletter every day, and it tells you like what Kindle books are on sale and all that kind of stuff. So the sun is a little bright, don't you think? Don't you think? Don't think twice, it's all right. Broccoli, Bill's, Slapfish. I don't know what that is. Whenever I pass this place right here, it's like a pumpkin farm in the fall. I always think of that Little People, Big World, and they had a pumpkin farm. Did you ever watch that show? I loved that show back in the day. So anyway, yeah, last night, I came home. I was so tired. I came home after vlogging, and I listened to my audiobook for just a little bit, The Little Monsters, and I did my whole face routine. I didn't do a lip scrub. I haven't actually done a lip scrub in a while. I did the Laneige lip mask, and then I did this eye cream that Elle Leary sent me. That's fantastic. It starts with an A. I was actually going to put that picture up on Instagram today. I'll have to put that picture up on Instagram. And then I took a picture of myself last night for my night routine. And then I took a picture of all the products too. I know, corny, right? And Alpine, I think is what the brand of the eye cream is. And then I did a watermelon hydrating face mask that I got at Sephora like a month ago maybe, I don't know. It's fantastic. And then what else do I do? The Laneige lip mask, hydrating lip mask, and then I spray my face with the Tatcha satin spray. Silk spray, satin spray, I don't know what it's, satin mist spray I think it's called. I felt so dreamy and so relaxed when I went to bed last night. It was so nice. So yeah, that was what I did last night. I slept so well. Oh my God, I slept so sound. And then I'm gonna take a nap here. I'm gonna drive out here and just vlog my first half of the vlog, and then I'm gonna drive home and listen to my audiobook, and then take a nap, and then I might do a live stream tonight. We'll have to see. But it's been a good day. It's been fun. That house out there is so cute. Ginormous. I don't know if cute's the right word to use for it, but I love to just drive around and look at people's houses. I think it's so fun and like dream of what kind of house that you would have, you know? There's so many really, really neat houses. Coming up here on the left is this house. If you live on the north side of Indianapolis, you'll know what I'm talking about. They actually have a moat, okay? It's right here. And it looks like a castle, and they have this moat. And right here coming up here was where the other building, a house right next to it, coming up here is where they had the, or where the what do you call it? Shoot, the cooler was. So I was driving around one night, literally right here on the corner, okay? And this is what is so creepy about this, is that if you take this street over, like I think like 2 blocks, and kind of turn left and then down again, you're at the Baumeister Mansion, the Fox Hollow Farms, which is where Herb Baumeister, the serial killer, killed 29 gay guys, okay? That I did the paranormal investigation. If you've never seen that vlog, it's on my channel. It's called the Fox Hollow Farms vlog. And Melissa and Aaron and I, we went and did a paranormal investigation with these people that, like, they had asked us to go out there and do it. And so it was like 6 or 8 of us. I can't remember how many people. But anyway, so we went and did that one night. But this is where I drive at night. And one night when I was driving down here, for those of you that don't remember, there was a cooler on the side of the road. Like literally just a cooler sitting there. And I don't know why, but it reminded me of that movie 7 with Brad Pitt. Do you remember when he puts his wife, that guy puts his wife's head, I don't remember who else was in that movie, but he puts his wife's head in a box. And then Brad Pitt looks at it at the very end, but you don't get to see it. But it is Gwyneth Paltrow, I think, is his wife in the movie. And I posted that video. I so bad, like, wanted to get out and look and see what was in the cooler, but I was terrified. So the next day I came back to see if the cooler was still there, and it was gone. And everybody was like, you should have looked in the cooler, you should have looked in the cooler. And I was like, no, I can't look in the cooler. I was terrified. But when I came back, there was no cooler. I mean, nobody said it because I posted the video, but the next day in the comments, everybody was like, you should have looked in the cooler. I was like, I know I should have. But no, I was too scared. I was too scared. So then I came back and I was completely prepared that if the cooler was there, I was gonna take like a stick and like poke it and see what was in it. But I wasn't so scared the next day. I mean, I was, but I wasn't like scared to open it because I thought probably 20 people had opened it if they just walked by there, you know? And so I was like, I am gonna find out what is in that cooler, but I came by the next day and there was no cooler there. What if there had been $10 million in cash? That would have been probably pretty cool, don't you think? That would have been really cool if there had been $10 million in cash. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. They were playing the Grateful Dead today when we were at brunch, and I loved it. What a long, strange trip it's been. They played Box of Rain when we came inside. They played like all the standards, so like Uncle John's Band and all that stuff. It's such a pretty day, even though it's so hot. Ice cream actually kind of sounds good. Not very program of me though, is it? Oh well. They're building like a little log cabin right there. Look at that, that's cute. Oh, it's like a real log cabin with like a stone fireplace and everything. So, what else is new? Not much since last night. Tanya was like, you should go to the pool. She's like, it's such a nice day, you haven't been to the pool a lot. I was like, I know. So, I'm gonna try to go to the pool sometime tonight for a little swim. I should have come home today though and gone to the pool in the afternoon. Maybe I'll do that next Sunday after brunch. I'm ready to go on our trip. I brought my shirt home last night after we went out and I like folded it really nice. So I can wear it in Vegas and it will be like I didn't even like wear it before. That party that we went to last night was so fun. It was so nice. My other vlog for last night is uploading right now as I speak. I think everybody that watches my vlog channel should start a vlog channel. And then I would have all your vlogs to watch, and then I would know about you too. It's real easy. All you have to do is just vlog and then render the pieces together, and then I like cleaned off the, so when I was doing my review video yesterday, I noticed there were like spots on my camera lens, which there probably are right now, and I didn't notice it, but like when I looked at the camera, there weren't, and it was weird. It was like right when it was in the sun, there was like the spots on the lens, but then, so if there are right now, I apologize, but, and then there weren't when I turned the other way. Look, the corn is as high as an elephant's eye. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye. Okay, L-A-H-O-M-A, Oklahoma. Okay. But anyway, oh, the trees over here are starting to turn already. Look at this. Can you believe it? The trees are turning. More cornfields. Indiana is seriously cornfields after cornfields after cornfields after cornfields. But, what did I say? What just happened? I forget. My friends we used to drive out here in high school. It's all developed now, but when I was in high school, it wasn't. And we would drive out here. We called it country cruising. Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days, my friend. What was I talking about? I don't even remember. My shirt that I took off and I wore to the party last night and I'll be ready for Las Vegas. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It was something probably stupid anyway. Do you want to see what Indiana looks like in the suburbs? This is what the suburbs of Indiana look like. Do you see any houses? No, that's because there aren't any. This is Indiana. Welcome to Indiana. Indiana. I don't know the song for Indiana. Who knows the Indiana song? I do know it, like if I'm at like a, what do you call it? Like the very rare times that I'm at an Indiana game. That means Indiana University, by the way. I don't know the song. But I know it because my mom used to sing it. And so if I heard it, I could sing it, but I don't know the words. Are you guys like that with songs? I always think I know the words to songs, and in actuality, I really don't. There's like My Indiana Home, which I think is a state song, and then there's like the Indiana Fight song, which I don't know how that goes. But if I heard it, I would know it. Do you know what I mean? Oh, well. There's a dentist all the way out here. Who would come to a dentist? Well, I guess it's like, now we're into the housing development area of town. I actually had a friend that lived in this neighborhood right over here. And we were really good friends the first couple years that she got sober. I met her at like, she was almost like a year sober, I think. Or maybe she was a year sober when I met her. This is probably like 5 or 6 years ago. This is the one that I was telling you about, that we used to like go out to lunch and dinner, and then we would like go sit on her patio all night long and drink coffee and talk. And she used to work from home, but now she doesn't work from home anymore, so we can't hang out at night as much anymore, because she could stay up super late and stuff like that, but she can't do that anymore, because when you have to get up and go to work at 6 a.m., you can't do that. I was talking to my sponsor about that the other day, because she's kind of a night owl too. And she was like, we were talking about like people not understanding, like staying up late and all that kind of stuff, you know? And she's like, yeah, she's like, I don't really care if people understand it anymore. She's like, but the thing is she was like, you know, when you go to bed late and you stay up at, you know, odd hours, she was like, you really do live a different world than other people do. She was like, because it's not like, that's not the hours that, like when I talk to people, I have like so many friends of mine that legit, oh, it's gonna stop, hold on. I have so many friends of mine that legit, like, they go to bed at like, I'm not even lying to you, like 8 o'clock, 7. They'll say like, yeah, sometimes I'm in bed at like 7 and I'll read from like 7 to 8 and then I'm asleep. And I'm like, what? Like, who goes to bed? And I know like half of you are like, I do. I go to bed at 7. I just can't even imagine it. I really can't. That neighborhood just said, that new neighborhood just said coming in summer of 2019. I'm like, summer 2019 is almost over and you haven't even built one house in there yet. So you might want to correct that sign. But, what was I saying? God, I'm forgetting everything today. Oh yeah, so we were talking about that. And she's like, it's like, whatever. She's like, some people get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. My aunt used to get up at crack acid dawn. She's not, before that, she'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'd be like, Aunt Kathy, what do you do? Like in the wintertime, I'd be like, what do? You get up that early, Well, every year, Christmas time, my aunt would have like 4 Christmas open houses and, 2 dinner parties and whatever. She would throw all these things. And she'd say, well, I get up and I start, preparing the meals that I can take out of the freezer when it's time for the open house or this or that. And she'd say, I wrap presents, because my aunt would wrap her presents beautifully. And she'd say, I have a wrapping station. She had a wrapping station in the basement. So she'd be like, I wrap my presents in the wrapping station in the basement. My mom had a wrapping station too. So we have this walk-in closet. Okay, side story. My mother and my aunt used to work at Blocks at like holiday seasons. Blocks does no longer exist, I don't think. But anyway, it was like an Ayers or a Macy's, and I don't think Ayers exists anymore either. But anyway, so they used to work at Blocks, and they would work there at the Christmas time, and there was like their little side job that they would have, and they worked in the wrapping area where people could get their presents wrapped for free. So my mother and my aunt legit could tie a bow like nobody's business, okay? And I'm talking about these extravagant, beautiful cloth bows. Always, at Christmas time, birthdays and whatever, but mostly Christmas, when we unwrap presents, my aunt would say, throw the paper over in that pile, keep all the bows. Because my aunt and my mom would recycle bows years from years and years, and then they would just remake them, and most of them were like cloth bows. You know what I'm talking about? Like really beautiful cloth bows that you get at like craft stores and stuff like that. And they would make these absolutely beautiful presents, mostly like crisscross, what I'm talking about? Like where it crisscross over and then the bow would be like in the middle. I mean, absolutely gorgeous presents. And every one of them looked like they were professionally wrapped at a department store. So my mom, my aunt's wrapping station was in her basement, and she literally would buy rolls of paper. Like every year she would decide like what her theme was going to be underneath her Christmas tree. I mean, this is like, you guys, this is no lie, okay? Like maybe one year she was going to do, her entire theme was going to be like gold, silver, and purple, okay? So she would have like gold, silver, and purple bows, and all different kinds of bows on one side, and like some of it, like the big, reams of it, and then she would have the huge reams of wrapping paper on the poles that you can pull down and just with a paper cutter just slide across and cut. My aunt would do this, okay? You should have seen my aunt's Christmas tree. I think everybody that she ever knew got a Christmas present. She'd have 9 million presents underneath the Christmas tree, but she like legit had a wrapping station like a department store. Like it would be this metal rod with like wrapping, and she would pull it down and with a paper cutter just cut across. I mean, unbelievable. Now, my mom, she wasn't so professional as all that, but she had, in our upstairs bathroom closet, we have like this walk-in closet. It's not a walk-in closet, but you could walk into it. It's probably, I don't know, 5 feet deep and 10 feet wide, and it kind of angles down. She had this wood block kitchen table that we used to have. I now have it at my office. She had it in the closet, and then she would my mother, that's where she kept all the cards. So I don't know if I've talked about this on here before. Well, I have, but it's been a long time. My mother would buy greeting cards on sale. She would go to like stores that were going out of business or Hallmarks or whatever, and whenever they were having sales, she would buy greeting cards. And so my mother always had the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful greeting cards, but they were like, she would buy like a $6 greeting card for like 25 cents. And she had wedding cards, sympathy cards. She had literally every birthday, like 20, 21, 25, 30, 65, 80, 90, 100. She had every anniversary birthday card that you could ever imagine. That way, if she needed one, she'd just go in there and she would pull it out and she'd get it. And it would be this beautiful, very unique card, but she didn't pay a lot of money for it. My mom was such a smart, like, clearance shopper that way. I can't believe I am so low on gas. I didn't realize that, so I'm gonna have to stop and get gas here soon. But anyway, so my mom always would like go and like after Christmas, she would buy really nice wrapping paper on sale. Birthdays, she would buy birthday paper on sale whenever she saw it, or my mom always bought really unique wrapping paper, and like colors that you couldn't, you know, imagine. And so she kept it all in there in bows and everything, and she would just like open the doors, and she'd have her TV on in her bedroom, and she would just wrap presents in there. She had a little TV in there too that she kept sometimes. But so anyway, I would, you know, call my aunt, or when I talked to my aunt, I'd be like, oh, Aunt Kathy, how are you doing today? And she'd be like, I'm good, I've gotten a lot done, I'm getting ready. She would literally go to bed at like 7 o'clock. She'd have like a scotch and soda at like 4, and then like dinner, and then like a scotch and soda at 6, and then she was like ready for bed. And I'd be like, you're going to bed so early? And she'd be like, well, sweetie, I get up at like 3:30 in the morning. And I'm like, Aunt Kathy, what do you do at 3:30 in the morning? And she'd say, oh, I mean, like, I work at my wrapping station, I get my presents ready, and then, like, you know, I'm having 4 open houses this month. My aunt was really, really involved. So she was like, okay, people ask me where, like, the women's league thing comes from. So my aunt was president of Junior League, and Junior League is like a women's organization. It's like a volunteer organization. They raise money. It's like philanthropic. And so my aunt was really, really involved with Junior League in Indianapolis for a long time. And so whenever I talk about the Women's League on my channel, I got that from my Aunt Kathy, because my aunt had a lot of friends that were obviously in Junior League. And I think they have Junior League in like every major city. So anyway, actually, well, the last time I talked about it, somebody said that their mother, or I think they said they were the president of the Junior League in Louisville, Kentucky. And it kind of cracked me up. I was like, oh, I know you. Because, like, every president of the Junior League, because my aunt's been friends with literally all of them. They're all her closest friends. They're all kind of a certain, I would say, personality type. And if you're in Junior League, you know what I mean. That's all I'm going to say. Likeable. Very, very likable. But I would say, yeah, type A personalities, you know. But anyway, throws lots of parties, very good, very much an entertainer. That was my aunt. And which is so funny, because my uncle was so not that. My uncle just liked to take a nap and read a book, you know. But you know, have him come out to the open house and look really nice. My uncle every single day got up and wore khakis and like a light blue button-down collared shirt, like every single day. Always looked so nice, and always would wear like Basswegians. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those like old school like penny loafers. He wore those like every day. He always looked so nice. But anyway, so the Women's League thing is kind of like from my aunt, because like that would be her friends talking on the phone. Okay, see you on Thursday. So anyway, but I would talk to my aunt around Christmas, and she would like, I'd be like, Aunt Kathy, I'd be like, what do you, she's like, well, I mean, I had to make like 12 dozen cookies, and I'd be like, 12 dozen cookies? My aunt, oh, the other thing was, my aunt, now my mother, she did not get this gene. My mother could not bake a cookie to save her life, but my aunt was unbelievable. Okay, like cook, baker, everything. And she would make cookies with a cookie press. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? My mom would do this too, but hers didn't look the same as my aunt's. I don't know. My mom just did not get that gene. My grandma could cook unbelievably. And, but you know, like it's like a metal thing. I don't really see people do this today. It's kind of like an art. But my aunt did it in a way, I mean, and her cookies were beautiful. They would make small cookies like that big, but it's like this long, like, metal tube, and then you put the cookie dough in it, or whatever you're gonna put, and then it has like a press on it. And then on the end of it, you can put whatever, so like, there's like a star shape, and then when you press it, it comes out, you know those little cookies that are like this, they look like little stars, or you could, you know, do them into a circle. They had these like ends that you would put on the little metal thing. And my aunt would make these cookies that it was like a buttermilk dough kind of like thing. They were real, real sweet. And she would make these absolutely beautiful cookies from a cookie press. And so she'd say, oh yeah, you know, like I got up at 3:30 and I wrapped presents for an hour. And she would like watch movies. This is when she would watch movies. She loved classics from back in the day. Musicals, Singing in the Rain, all those. That was she and my mom's favorite movie. So she would say, you know, oh yeah, like, you know, I wrapped presents for an hour and I watched, you know, I don't know, some movie that she loved, some Alfred Hitchcock movie or something like that. She liked more like the romances, like the Deborah Carr movies and those kind of movies. But my aunt also loved, well, actually, this is real cute. So my aunt and uncle took care of, well, I don't even know if take care is the right word, but my cousin's son, David, he stayed with my aunt and uncle like every other weekend, and sometimes every weekend, the whole time that he was growing up. He and my uncle, who he called Poppy, were literally best friends. I mean, they went to every movie together. David and my uncle went and saw so many movies together. And so I remember my uncle laughing, I don't know, maybe a year before he passed away, that he was probably the only one on Netflix that still got DVDs or something, or whenever that stopped, because he was upset that they were stopping that you could get DVDs on Netflix. But anyway, so my David found that my aunt had this little notebook. Like, I keep those little notebooks, and I think I've talked about this on here too. She had written down like all of her favorite movies, and it was, Aaron Brockovich, Steel Magnolias, all those, mainstays. So she would watch one of those, and, she would watch at her working station, and then she would go up in the kitchen and she would finish it, and she would make cookies for an hour, and that's what she would do from like 3:30 to 5:30, and then, she would like take a shower and get ready, and then she was out the door by 6:30. I mean, out the door. My aunt was a realtor here in town, and she was a super, super, super successful realtor, and worked her butt off. I remember one time saying to my aunt that I thought I wanted to maybe go and be, I didn't know, like I wanted, I've had so many thoughts in my mind about changing my life, and I was like in my mid-20s, and I thought I might want to be a realtor. And I said to my Aunt Kathy, I said, because it seemed kind of glamorous to me at that time. She's always taking clients out for dinner and drinks and, blah, 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 whatever. And, she got to like go to see all these huge houses and condos and stuff. And I was like, Aunt Kathy, I think maybe I want to go to get my realty license and go to, realty school or whatever. And I remember she looked at me and she was like, no, you don't. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're not. And she goes, Peter, I love you, but you're not made for it. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, you have to really get to know these people, and you take them out to dinner, and she's like, it's a lot of work. They trust you with helping them find the next home and stuff like that. And she was like, she said something to me about like, why don't you come with me for a day or something? And I was like, well, what does a day of your life look like? And she told me, and I was like, oh, no, I don't want that. I think that is not the job that I want. Okay, I'm not designed for that at all. And if you're a realtor out there, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's so much more work to it, but she loved it. She was so good at it, and she loved being a realtor, and she was a school teacher. My mom and her both were education majors in college, and she taught for a while, and then she went and got a realtor's license. And my aunt was one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my entire life. She was involved in so many organizations, and real involved in her church as well. And at her funeral, people spoke. Her best friend spoke and said some things that she was involved in. I literally had no idea that my aunt was ever involved in. She had all of these things that she did, charity things that she did, that she never told anybody. She never told anybody that she was involved in it. And the only reason that her neighbor, who was also her close friend, knew about it was because, she'd see her and she'd be like, oh, I'm going to this, whatever. And that's the only way that she knew, like most people didn't even know that my aunt was involved in that stuff. And I think about that, sometimes about when we talk about role models and we talk about like, oh, who's somebody that I want to be like that is somebody that I want to be like, that you do things for people, you do good things, and you don't say anything about it. There's no need to, it's like, that was a goal that I started about 2 years ago, okay? And I wouldn't say that every day. I aim to be that. Let me just say I aim to be that, okay? In the next week, if you're somebody that can afford to do this or whatever, in the next week, every day, do a really good deed, a selfless deed. Buy somebody's meal for them, or buy the person behind you their coffee, no matter what. And if that means that the person says to you, okay, well, they just ordered 4 Frappuccinos, you're like, okay, that's cool, I'll buy 4 Frappuccinos. Do it, and see if you can go an entire week and not even mention to your husband, your partner, your sister, your friend, or anything, oh yeah, there was this car behind me today, and I bought him 4 coffees, okay? That's when you see the true test of who you really are as a person, right? That like, do you have to be noticed for your deeds? And I think for all of us, there's a certain amount of ego and pride of, I want people to know, like, this about me or whatever, and it's like, only when you get to the point where you can start doing those things and not feel like you need to tell anybody about it. It was interesting because, like, my husband did something the other day, like we were together and he did this thing and it was like a really nice gesture, right? And like not for me, but just like for somebody else, and like a stranger. And I never like experienced like him doing something like that before. And I thought, you know, does he do a lot of this and just not ever say it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and Tanya and I were talking about that, and she was like, but Peter, she was like, you do so many things that people don't know. And I was like, do I though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think maybe sometimes you just don't realize the things you do because they just kind of become who you are as a person, you know, like I like, for example, and I'm not, this isn't me because I don't, you know, participate in a church, but if you participate in a church and, you know, you do Sunday school and you do this and you're on the board of elders and whatever, you know, like, those are nice charitable things that you're giving of your time. And, I don't know, like when I can remember sitting there and looking at my aunt's friend and being like, I didn't even know that my aunt, I mean, these were like some pretty big things that she did that I didn't even realize, you know, like, this one thing that she did that I didn't know was that she prepared these meals, these baskets of meals, and she had like 5 or 10 families that she took them to, and it was like a once a week kind of thing where she would prepare like an entire meal, and then she like took them to these families. I never once, and I said to Caroline later, I said, did you know your mom did that? She goes, I had no idea. I go, really? She goes, no, I had no idea. You know, and I think one of the greatest things I was ever given by my family was that, like, you know, my mom and my dad and my aunt and my uncle, all, well, maybe not so much my uncle, but my mom and my aunt definitely, and my dad, all came from pretty poor backgrounds. I mean, really poor backgrounds, you know? And never forgot where they came from. Like, never once forgot, you know, what it was like for them when they were growing up and things like that. Like, I know that, like, my mom and my aunt never did. And, and my dad didn't. My dad definitely didn't. But, you know, like, my dad, it's weird with him. Like, my mom, she would say things like how hard we had it. She would say, you know, like, it was really hard. My dad doesn't say that. I mean, he would say, like, and I talked about this on here not too long ago, he would say, we didn't know we were poor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody was poor around us. We didn't know we were poor, you know? We got one Coke each. You know, there was 5 kids growing up in his family. He'd say, you know, we got one Coke each, you know, for a week. He was like, you know, that when you hear that, he always talks about that TV or that movie, A Christmas Story, and he's like, that was me growing up, except for we were the poor family. And he was like, but that, like, it's supposed to take place in Fort Wayne, Indiana, or northern Indiana, where my dad grew up. And he's like, that is, and it's exactly like his era. And so he's like, oh my God, when he watches, he loves that movie. And he's like, this was my childhood. And he was like, the Red Ryder BB gun, all of it, I had it all. But, you know, he would say, Peter, he was like, when we grew up, we would have like one pair of shoes for the entire school year, one pair of jeans for the whole school year. He was like, we didn't know any different. He was like, when you don't know any different, you don't really care, you know? And I was like, well, there's some truth to that, you know? Funny with my car thing, like this one versus the other one, like it goes down so low before it goes off and says I need gas. It's like my arrow is almost like hitting close to the E, and I'm like, it hasn't even come up yet and said that I need to get gas, which is fine because I also need to run in and use the restroom. So drank too much coffee. Who's texting me? I can't see it. Sunday afternoon. I've actually vlogged a little bit longer tonight than I thought I would, this afternoon than I thought I would. Well, you get a Sunday afternoon vlog. How about that? Do you guys want to hear a funny story? I literally could not snap until I came out. True story. Do you remember back in the day, Z formation? We didn't really do that. We did not do that. That was that, like, In Living Color or whatever, that TV show. Do you remember that TV show, In Living Color? We used to all watch that back in the day. We thought it was so funny. It was so funny. But anyway, and there were those two guys on there, and they would do the Z formation thing. Wasn't that from In Living Color? And they would say like something. They'd be like, "Yes, girl, Z formation." We didn't do that though. I know it's probably hard to believe, but we didn't do that. In Living Color. I forgot all about that show. The Arsenio Hall show, do y'all remember that? Well, they would go. I loved the Arsenio Hall show. Which one was the one that like Jennifer Lopez was a backup singer on? Was that Arsenio Hall or was that In Living Color? I think that was In Living Color. Is that where Jennifer Lopez got her start? I think it was. And they had those, the Fly Girls. Was that In Living Color? I think it was. Oh my God. If you don't know what I'm talking about, In Living Color was kind of like Saturday Night Live, but a little bit more raw. Who is the guy that, do you remember on, was it on In Living Color or was it on Saturday Night Live? And he was like supposed to be, it was the guy, but he was supposed to be like the elementary school, Stuart maybe was his name, something, and he was like on Saturday Night Live. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Was that Saturday Night Live? I could not believe how many people I said on here the other day. Was it here? I don't know what it was, but I said something, I think it was on my Peter Monn channel. I said something about 50. And I said, this was like a personal joke between me and this friend of mine, because back in the day, I don't know, he was probably 30 and he went on a, maybe not 30, maybe like 25, and he went on this date with this guy that was 50, and now that I'm getting to be 50, it's not such a joke anymore that I'm gonna be 50, but I remember like, this other friend, this other friend of mine, I said to him something about, my friend would make nicknames for all of us had nicknames. All of our boyfriends had nicknames. Any guy that we went on a date with had a nickname, right? He was always giving people nicknames. And so our friend started like kind of dating this guy that was like 50. Oh, no, wait. If I was 20, okay, so I would have been between relationships. So I would have been 28. So my friend would have been 31. And he started dating this guy that was 50. And my other friend would always call this guy, I mean, not to his face, but he would always, I'm surprised he didn't, because he kind of always said, he just thought he was hilarious, and he was hilarious. But he would always call him, he'd be like, if we were all sitting there at dinner or something, he'd be like, so how's 50? He'd like ask out, and they didn't date for long, but I'm kind of surprised, actually. They make kind of a fun couple. Anyway. God, that was 20 years ago. That means that guy is 70 now. Crap. Oh, God. I was going to say, I wonder where he is. It just stopped. I can't believe I've actually done 2 whole 24-minute, almost 23.5-minute videos. I'm pulling into the get gas fast. They should actually sponsor my video since I'm here all the time. I'm going to go to this one. It's in the shade. Why wouldn't you? Okay, I'm gonna get some gas. I'm gonna run in and use the restroom. Look at that Mercedes SUV, that's pretty. Brand new and clean. All right, I'm gonna get some gas and I will be back in two. Okay, I'm back. It's much later. It is currently 12:14 a.m. and I was just with Tanya Jean. We got fountain pops. We had the windows all the way down. Turn the air off. It's such a beautiful night outside. It's 68 degrees, but it feels really nice, and you can hear all the, what are they, the crickets or whatever they are. So I started trying to vlog again earlier, and my battery died right as I was leaving the gas station. I was like, I don't know, like a minute and 30 seconds in or something like that, and just like stopped. So I was like, I'll vlog later. I'll go charge my battery. So I charged my battery. And I'm gonna vlog for just a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna listen to my audiobook. I went home and hung out with Alex for a little bit, and then I ended up trying to take a nap, but I couldn't. I laid down with Boo and Pee-Pee, but I couldn't take a nap, and I couldn't sleep, and Alex was watching TV. Tanya texted me, and she was like, do you wanna go get a fountain pop? And I was like, sure. I said, can you wait like 20 minutes? Because I said, well, first I said I'll leave in 10, and then I was like, could you wait like 20 minutes? Wanted to take a shower and use my new shampoo and conditioner today that I got at Lush. And I actually used all Lush products tonight. I had such a nice shower. Well, the Coast bar soap, other than that, and the Kiehl's face wash. I use this Kiehl's face wash. The men's Kiehl face wash, men's Kiehl's face wash that I originally got, which is like apricot, I ended up not liking that. Like, I used it forever. I used like half of it, and I just was like, I don't like this. It kind of always made my face kind of oily. But then they sent me one, they sent me like this really nice package of like samples and stuff, and they sent me like a sample. It's like small, and I really, really like that one. I don't always use it. Sometimes in the shower, I'll like wash my face with bar soap. I know don't, but people used to say don't do that. But like I've always used bar soap on my face, like until I started getting into this whole skincare regimen. So, and it worked for me for years and years and years. So sometimes every once in a while I'll wash my face with bar soap. Well, I did it more when I used like just the white dial soap. With the Coast, I don't do it as much. So it's got kind of warm in here quick. If I turn the air on, it gets like really, really cold really quickly in here. And then, so I used the Coast bar soap. And then I used the Fairly Traded honey. I bought a new one today, the honey shampoo. And I had a smaller one. I bought a big size. And I had just enough in my old bottle to use it. By the way, at Lush, she told me tonight when I was checking out that, so back in the day, you could take in like the little, you know, the black containers that are like for masks and stuff, and you could trade them in, and if you traded in, I don't know how many, you could get a free mask. Melissa always does that. That's how I found out about it. But she told me today when I was checking out, she was like, it was funny, I haven't been in there in forever, and I used to go in there, you know, all the time, and they remembered me in there, like 2 of the people that worked in there. So, but she told me, she was like, you can now bring in the caps too. And I said, oh really? And she was like, yeah, we're taking like the caps to recycle them as well. And I said, well, what do you guys not take? She goes, we'll take everything. If you want to bring it all in here, we'll recycle all of it. So I'm just going to start keeping a bag of all my Lush stuff, and when I go through it, just take it in there. So that I know that they're recycling it that way. I don't know what is going on and why it's sitting down like this. But anyway, and then after that I used the Fairly Traded honey shampoo and the Veganese conditioner, and then I used the Coast bar soap. I've said that 3 times now, who cares? And then I used the Sleepy shower gel. And then when I got out, I always use a Vino lotion on my face, unless I'm going to bed or in the morning, and then I use like a more like skincare product kind of thing, like, you know, one that's specific for your face. Sometimes, not always, but definitely before I go to bed. Usually during the day I use the Aveeno lotion because it kind of like goes right into my skin. That doesn't make my skin look like greasy or oily or anything. But I use the Aveeno lotion on my face, and then I use the Sleepy lotion on my body, and then I did the Mr. Dandy's hair candy in my hair, which I love to put on my hair when it is wet because it gets out. It's kind of like, so it's weird how to explain it. It's kind of like gooey-ish. It smells so good. It kind of smells, I don't even know how to explain it. Almost like ocean-y, kind of. But at the same time, like, really fresh and clean. But you know, like when you put gel in your hair, if you have shorter hair, that like once, if you put gel in your hair when it's wet, it'll just like, it'll sit like hard in your hair. But this, like once it dries, you can kind of like put your hair through it, or put your hands through it, and kind of comb it into wherever you want to comb it into, and then it kind of goes into place, and it just stays kind of like thick in your hair. It's so nice, and plus it smells so good. Elle sent that to me. Hey Elle, because I couldn't find it anywhere, and she was smart enough to look on the UK website for Lush because they had discontinued it. So I love that stuff so much. But anyway, and then I sprayed my whole body with the Twilight body spray, which is, it smells like Sleepy. So right now, if you've ever used Sleepy products from Lush, I basically smell like Sleepy. I love those products. They smell so good. And they have like a lavender base to it, so I always feel really relaxed. Yeah, and then Alex was watching TV when I left. He actually just texted me. It's 12:20. He actually texted me and said he was going to bed, like right as I was dropping off Tanya. And so he was watching TV, and when I left, and that's it. And then I stopped by the post office and I mailed something and picked up Tanya Jean, and then we drove around, and we were fun tonight talking. We drove around forever. It was good times. Good times were had by all. We were talking about just all kinds of stuff. Was there something I was going to tell you guys we were talking about? Now I don't remember what it was. We were talking about like old places. Like, okay, we were talking about gas stations. My ex, the very first time I ever visited him where he lived, which was Seymour, Indiana at the time. He doesn't live down there anymore, but very first time I ever like went down there to hang out with him, he like drove through this gas station. It was called, I can't remember what it was called. I feel like it was just called Speedy, like not Speedway, but it was called like Speedy. I can't remember, but anyway. And back in the day, like when I was growing up as a kid, they had like full service gas stations. If you're younger, you won't know what I'm talking about, but if you're older, you'll know what I'm talking about. And, but I hadn't seen him in forever. And so this was, you know, this wasn't that long ago. So, he pulls into the full service thing and he just like sits there and lets them fill his tank. I go, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm letting them fill my tank, or they're going to fill my tank. And I was like, do you go through the full service? Like, you know? And he was like, yeah, why? And I'm like, I don't, like, I hadn't seen anybody do that forever, you know? And I think I joked with him and said something about being lazy. And so forever, like, when we were together, he'd always say things like, you know, like, well, I won't go through the full service because Swifty, was it Swifty maybe? The gas station? Anyway. It's so funny. Tanya and I were talking about that. And she said, do you remember that back in high school? And she was like, everybody had like somebody that they knew that worked at the gas station. I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Like every time you would go to the gas station, they had a full service person there. There was always like, you know, somebody from high school that worked at the gas station. I always knew people that worked at the gas station. My friends and I always did. We would go to certain gas stations because we knew people that worked at certain gas stations. And then we were talking about like burger places. And I said, what did Hardee's used to be? I almost just forgot it again. I said, but I just remember. I said, what did Hardee's used to be before it was Hardee's? This one, like, up by us. And she said, well, they still have them. They're out in, like, California and Arizona. This is so funny, you know? And because I was talking about this the other day, I think on here sometime. And she goes, I go, what? I go, Carl's Jr.? And she goes, yeah. And I go, no. I go, that's not what I'm talking about. I go, Carl's Jr. and Hardee's are basically the same thing. I said, although I heard somebody left it on a message on, or left a comment that you left a message on my vlog. You left a comment on my vlog that they're going to have Impossible Burgers now at Carl's Jr. But we don't have Carl's Jr. around here. We have Hardee's, which is basically the same thing. So I'm wondering if Hardee's is going to have Impossible Burgers too. There's a Hardee's on my way back. When I come up here and turn around, I'm going to go through Hardee's and see if they have the Impossible Burger. They're so good. So anyway, Tanya was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I go, oh, Burger Chef. And she goes, oh my God, Burger Chef. Burger Chef was this place that you could go, and they had like it wasn't like a salad bar, but it was like a toppings bar. And so you could order like cheeseburgers or hamburgers for like, you know, I don't know, cheap, like 69 cents or 99 cents or whatever. And then you could go to the little topping bar and you could put on like, you know, my mom used to love it. She would put everything on it. You could put ketchup, mayonnaise, you know, mustard, pickles, lettuce, tomato. I mean, she would load it up. One of my very, very first boyfriends before I got sober, he and I got high as a kite one night, and we were so hungry and we had like no money, and we went to the high as a kite smoking weed, and we went to it must have been a period of my life that I wasn't like doing that a lot, because I can remember like I hadn't in a a while or something, and we were so hungry and we had no money, and so we went to Burger Chef and we had like $2, and I think we bought like 4 cheeseburgers. There was some deal there going on, and we bought like 4 cheeseburgers, and we bought them and they were like this, and when we left they were like this big because we had loaded them all up with like lettuce and all kinds of stuff on there. That was funny. I don't know why this song just came into my head, but I think it's from Oklahoma. I don't know why the soundtrack to Oklahoma is always running in my head, because my mom used to love that one. But anyway, that musical. Is that the one that says, I like it, dun 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 dun? Is that from Oklahoma? Gary, Indiana. Anyway, well, that's the Music Man, isn't it? That's not Oklahoma. I don't remember like any of those musicals. We used to watch them as kids. When I was a kid, my mom loved musicals. I did not love musicals. I've never really loved musicals. Annie is about the only one that I ever really liked. Oh my God, so somebody commented, the same video that they commented on, I'm actually gonna go up here and just turn around because I wanna listen to my audiobook. And I'm gonna go back and we'll go look at the Hardys. And then that will be the vlog for the night. But it's actually a longer vlog because I've already vlogged tonight. But, what was I gonna say? Oh, so people were commenting, I think on my vlog, maybe on my review channel, but I think it's on my vlog. People were telling me about different kinds of like Impossible Burgers going to be here and there, and different kinds of meat and stuff, or like meat substitutes. And somebody commented and said, Del Taco has meat substitutes, or Impossible meat substitutes, Impossible Burger meat substitutes, or whatever. And I was like, what? Okay, so I love the show Grace and Frankie. And in the show, I don't know what is going on with this beanbag thing tonight, you guys. I'm sorry, it keeps on like moving. But anyway, in the show, Frankie, if you've never watched it, is played by Lily Tomlin, and Grace is played by Jane Fonda. If you've never watched it, I don't know why. It's fantastic. But anyway, and Grace is very much like crisp white shirt with the collar turned up and like martini. Why does it keep on doing this tonight? This is driving me crazy. It keeps on going down. Doing it down there. So anyway, I like a girl who can't see. It's like shining behind there. Do you see that? It's like shining right here. Shine bright like a diamond. Is that the back of that thing? Why is it shining on that right there? That is so weird. What is right there? Anyway, okay. So Grace, played by Jane Fonda, is like crisp white collared shirt and coiffed and drinks martinis and stuff. And Frankie is like this aging hippie. And so Frankie always goes to Del Taco. Well, I thought Del Taco was like a made up place. Like I thought there surely can't be a place, and don't call me Shirley, called Del Taco, right? Like I just didn't think that Del Taco was like a real place. So anyway, when somebody said that on my vlog, I was like, is Del Taco like a chain in like the West Coast or something that I had never heard of before? Like that is hilarious. And I just assumed it was like this made up fake place, and Del Taco is like a real place. Like, is that not so funny? Anyway, I'm kind of stupid like that, I guess. I don't know. But if you've never had the Impossible Burger, you should try it, even if you're not a vegetarian. If you ever go to Cheesecake Factory and you want to try something different, well, first of all, let me just tell you, the 4-cheese pasta is fantastic. Okay, the 4-cheese pasta is like probably one of the best pastas I've ever had in my entire life. The other thing is, I know that Cheesecake Factory is a chain, and I know that it's kind of like whatever, but like I love the Cheesecake Factory, and it's expensive for being a chain. The other thing there is, their cheese quesadillas do not play. They are so good, okay? But they only come out as 4, and they're kind of expensive. Also, I eat the whole wheat bread from when we go to Cheesecake Factory, it's perfect because Alex likes white bread, like the baguette of white bread, and I like the whole wheat bread. And so we always get our own bread, and then because they bring both, and then we each get our own slab of butter. I take my butter off with a knife and I put it on there because that's how my mother taught me to do it. Alex, my husband, he takes a piece of bread and like dips it into like an edge of the butter. It's so funny. And then he usually gets the spaghetti and meatball or meat sauce at Cheesecake Factory, so then he'll get like extra white bread for that too. But anyway, their grilled cheese is really, really good too. And also, and I mean, I'm a vegetarian now. I have been forever, so I haven't had it. But I used to get their chicken salad sandwich. Their chicken salad at Cheesecake is really pretty good. Okay. Oh my God, but their chicken tenders are like one of the best chicken tenders I've ever had in my entire life. Like if you eat meat. But if you are a vegetarian, or if you are not a vegetarian, you'd like to try something vegetarian, or if you ever go to Cheesecake Factory as a vegetarian, do not get their veggie burger, their black bean burger, get the Impossible Burger, okay? I am telling you, even if you're not a vegetarian, you won't be able to tell it's a veggie burger. I mean, it is incredible. It's like this thick, and it's like flame grilled, and it is so delicious. I mean, it is so, I love the fishes because they're so delicious. It is so, so, so good. Was that a cat, like, treat commercial or something? I have a friend of mine that used to sing that back in the day. But anyway, it is so delicious, you guys. It is, I am obsessed with the Impossible Burger. I actually haven't had it in a while. I think it's interesting that White Castle was the first place. I used to call it White Castle's, Whitey Castile. I think it's interesting that White Castle is like White Castle's is the White Castles. I think it's interesting that White Castles is the White Castles, the first place that really started it with the Impossible Slider. And now, like, oh, I was talking about it on here because I was talking about when you go through White Castles, they always look at you. I'll say like, yeah, can I get, you know, whatever, 3 Impossible Sliders? And they'll go, that'll be 7 to 10 minutes. I'm like, that's fine. But anyway, it's interesting to me that they're the first ones that started it, that White Castles is, which is like, if you ever go to a Crystal's, it's like a Crystal's. But anyway, I think White Castle in the South is called Crystal's, or do they have White Castle in the South? I don't know. But they're the first ones that started it and got on like this bandwagon, and now like all these other people are starting like legit having veggie burgers, which is stupid that fast food restaurants don't have them already, you know? The thing is that a lot of places that you go, when you go, like if they have vegetarian options on their menu, which most restaurants do now, it's typically always something like really heavy. Like it'll be, like, oh, what's the stuff that I love? I always mispronounce this stuff. It's like rice, but it's not rice. What's the word? Okay, well, I cannot pronounce it. This is not what I was thinking of. But in, like, Miami, when you go to places, this is their vegetarian option is always gnocchi. I don't think that's how you pronounce it. I think it's G-N-O-C, like C-C-I or C-H-I, which is delicious, right? But it's like fettuccine Alfredo doubled is how thick it is, right? Or they'll have, I want to say couscous, but it's not couscous. I know what couscous is. But it's, what's this stuff that's like rice but not rice? Oh God, risotto. And I love risotto, like, and especially a good mushroom risotto. Oh my God, oh, perfecto. But anyway, it's real heavy too, you know. It's like, then you're in Miami walking around, you're like, But then I also just don't win. Like sometimes they'll say like, well, we have assorted vegetables grilled, and I'm like, no thanks. Grilled cheese. That's why I look like this instead of somebody that looks like they eat grilled vegetables. liquid and don't care. What is that song from that's driving me crazy? Whatever musical that song is from, we actually saw it in person sometime. My mom's friend, that was her sorority sister, not Susie, but the other one, her oldest daughter, when she was like in 8th grade, she went to this private school here, we went and saw her, and I think she was in either The Music Man or Oklahoma, and I think that song was from that. And she wasn't the main part, though. She was just in the chorus. But we applauded loudly. I think that, as you should. I think what they sang that song. Do you guys know what song I'm talking about? Da 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 da. But it's like, it's in some movie too that they do about like a pageant or something, or what is that? It's in some movie. They do it as like a joke. Oh my God, I just remember what it was. Connie and Carla, or Carly and Connie, or Connie and Carla. Is that what it's called? Connie and Carla? They do that in their little show that they do. Oh my God, you guys love that movie so much. I am such a huge, oh, what's her name? She played Muriel in Muriel's Wedding. Muriel, you're horrible, or you're terrible. What was that movie? Or what's her name? Oh, she's so, Toni Collette. Oh God, I love her so much. She's so fantastic. She's so good. Such a great actress. She's probably one of my favorite modern day actresses of her age. Like, I love Julianne Moore too. But that I just, and Cate Blanchett, of course, I love her. But somebody like listed their favorite actresses on my vlog, and I love that they did that. And like, I have so many of the same favorite actresses. Of course, Meryl Streep, Diane Keaton, Sally Field, Sissy Spacek. Oh, Jessica Lange. I've loved Jessica Lange for years and years and years. Old school, like all her older stuff. It's funny that people are just now finding out about Jessica Lange because of American Horror Story, when she has been doing such fantastic things. I think her best role ever was Crimes of the Heart. I really, really do. I think did she play, oh, no. Sissy Spacek played Babe. I can't think of what her name was that she played, but she was so good in it. It's gonna stop, hold on a second. The red just flashed out the corner of my eye. Okay, it's like reddish orange when it like, you know, you have like literally 5 seconds left of the battery. But, or the timer. She was so good in that movie. I can't think of what her name was. And, oh, Cape Fear, she was so good in too. Blue Sky, is that what she was great in that? I think she got an Academy Award for that. And I remember seeing her in the, like, well, not the original with Fay Wray, but like the second King Kong. I don't know that I've ever seen the original King Kong with Fay Wray. Okay, we're gonna drive through Hardee's and see if they have the Impossible Burger here, since people said Carl's Jr. has it, but I'm almost positive that Hardee's doesn't have it, because I think I would have seen it or know that. But I can't remember the last time that I went through here, so. This town is like a ghost town right now. Nothing is open. Let's read their Fiesta deal. They have tacos. I will tell you, Hardee's has some of the best Mexican food I've ever had. I used to get it back in the day. Garlic bread thick burger. Oh my God. Plus cheesy garlic fries. See, if I still ate if I still ate meat, I could review all this stuff. Try our new cheesy garlic fries. I would love to, but no, I can't. Program. Okay, let's see. I bet they don't have that Impossible Burger here. Their chicken fingers do not play. They are so good here. And they also have the Fruit Loop milkshake new, and loaded hash brown bowl. I don't see anything about. I think my husband is watching the show right now on Amazon Prime. Amazon Original, The Boys, Never Meet Your Heroes. God, he loves all of that stuff. New series, watch now, Prime Video. And it's got that girl in it from American Horror Story. Or not American Horror Story, from Adventures in Babysitting. Buy one at regular price, get one free. I'm just looking right now. Don't even worry about it. I'm my own person, like Boo Radley. Okay, let's look on this menu and see. All new, triple cheeseburger, all 2 doubles charbroiled, no. Original thick burger. I don't see anything about any kind of meat substitute on here. Burritos, chicken quesadillas, super nachos. Do you guys want to hear a really funny story? No, I don't see it on here. If they have it, I don't know anything about it. Okay, so here's a funny story for you. And then I'm gonna close. Oh, is that it? No, but can I just say it's probably a good thing that they don't have it here. Okay, so funny story for you. This girl that I used to work with, she was so hilarious. And so she and her husband, like, well, so it was her boyfriend and then it was her husband. So I don't know it doesn't matter at what point, like, this was her boyfriend or if it was her husband or whatever. But at one point, like, so she was ordering, she got me laughing so hard. Okay, this is the dumbest story in the entire world. I don't know why I'm telling it, but I think it's so funny. So she and her husband were ordering, like, I don't know, pasta or something, carry out from this place, right? And so when they were ordering it on the phone, she was like taking the order and she's like, you know, we'll have like the 2 fettuccine alfredos or whatever, and breadsticks and whatever. And the woman was like, okay, would you like a super salad with that? And she was like, sure, yeah. And she was like, okay, which one? And my friend was like, what? And she was like, would you like a super salad with that? And my friend was like, yeah. I said, yeah. And she was like, okay, which one? And my friend was like, which one what? And she was like, super salad. And she was like, right, yeah, we said we want one. And she goes, which one? And my friend goes, I'm confused, what do you mean, which one? She goes, soup or salad? And my friend thought she was saying like super salad, like a supersized salad or something like that, you know? Is that totally hilarious? I think that's so funny. Funny, haha. Okay. So anyway, super salad. Yeah, that's it for the night. So I'm gonna get off here and listen to my audiobook. I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday. I'm kind of like hidden in the shadows right now. See, doesn't that stuff make my hair look kind of cute? I think it does. It's so easy too. I don't have to do anything to it. I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday, an amazing beginning of your week, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, do not have other plans. Make plans to do something really fun this week. Set yourself some goals. I'm going to set myself 2 goals. I'm going to stay on program, and I am going to go to both of my trainings this week, plus 1 extra time to the gym. So I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week. I actually saw this girl today when we were at the mall that I hadn't seen in forever, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, it had been months. I said, you have lost so much weight. And I said, how much weight have you lost? And she goes, I've lost 80 pounds. She's like, can you tell? And I go, are you kidding me? Yes, you look fantastic. She looks so good. Not that she didn't before, but like, I mean, you could really tell. And that she like really, like, she looked healthy. And I said, how did you lose so much weight? And she was like, she said, I didn't honestly realize that she was that heavy to lose 80 pounds, but she said the first 40 came off, I went vegan, and she was like, then I stopped being vegan, but it was like kind of slid off right away being vegan. And she was like, then I just really made healthy eating choices. I ate 3 times a day. I really watched what I ate. I stopped eating really bad food. She was like, I would eat like an extra large burrito for a snack. And she's like, I just cut that all out. I cut out fast food. I cut out all this kind of, I think she said sugar. I'm not sure. Did she? Maybe not. No, I don't think she did, but she like cut out all this stuff, and she's like, I just started eating healthier, and then I went to the gym like 3 days a week. She goes, I really did not work that hard, but my eating habits and my health habits were so bad that it was just like even making those differences really made, or even making those changes really made a huge difference. I was like, oh my God, it really inspired me. So, okay. So yeah, those are my goals for the week. Stick to program, and get back into fat burn, and go to training twice, both my sessions this week, plus an extra time at the gym. That's only 3 times. It's not that hard. And like this guy at my gym, said the other day. He's like there every time I go. Did I talk about this? Okay, so there's this guy that he like is always at the gym when I'm there, and she always has me work out right in front of him, and he's like real attractive. Not that that should matter, but I always feel like I feel like a blob just sitting there. It's like, but when I'm working out, don't put somebody that is like totally muscular, in shape, attractive, and then also looking like they aren't even really trying, like right in front of me. But he's friends with all of the trainers and stuff that help me out. They're so sweet. So I'm like working out the other day, and I'm like, and she goes, do you want to do another set? And I go, I just forgot what I have to do on Monday. She told me we're going to do it tomorrow. But anyway, and I was like, can we not? And he goes, don't forget, you pay for this. And I was like, shut up. I was like, ugh. I go, yes, I know. So anyway, make some goals for this week. Take some risks. Do something fun. I have like a hair hanging right here. Do something fun today or this week, today as well. And, you know, do something for you. Take some time out for you, even if it's just, you know, 10 or 15 minutes. And, yeah. So have an amazing day, unless you have other plans, like I always say. But don't have other plans. Have the best day of your life and the best week. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Say it to yourself every day in the mirror. I actually did it last night, and I was like, I feel weird saying this. I hadn't done it in a while, you know? And there were, it feels like there was a time where I was doing it on a regular basis, but I hadn't, and I looked in my mirror and I was like, I love you. It was while I was doing my facial stuff before I went to bed last night. I was like, I love you. I love you. And I was like, I even like kind of said to myself, do you really believe this? I was like, say it until you really feel confident and you believe it, you know? So I love you. And you deserve good things. We all deserve good things. And pass it on to somebody else, most importantly, and let somebody else know how important they are to you in their life. I don't think we do enough of that, and I think there are a lot of people out there that need to hear it. So thank you for watching my vlog, and if you've made it this far, please give this vlog a thumbs up, and give it a little like, leave a blue heart if you want to, or a comment. You don't have to. And I love you guys, and I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.